Hello and good day. This video is the history of witchcraft, the introduction, part 1. Witchcraft is a hot subject. The very mention of the word witch excites strong emotions. For some people, it conjures up the image of a storybook elderly witch with her pointy hat, broomstick, black hat, and crooked smile. For others, all witches are evil, devil-worshipping enemies of society whose very existence is a danger to our young people. The popularity of witchcraft has never been greater, especially among young people who are taking up the challenges of the craft in increasing numbers. Yet the current image of witchcraft, despite its popularity and all the cozy images of the commercialized Halloween, is still not particularly positive. That, of course, should surprise no one. Throughout history, witches have been badly represented by different societies, sometimes harmlessly, but more often with fatal results. This video and my series will look behind the scenes of this history, from Babylonian gods to King Solomon, from the Roman Empire to Puritan New England, to explain how and why witches got the reputation they have. Along the way, it will chart how they have had to fight for their survival and for their identity. And I will reveal the story of how one elderly man sparked a revival that has made witchcraft what it is today, one of the fastest growing religions in North America and the rest of the modern world. What is witchcraft? But just what do we mean by witchcraft or witch? This is not an easy question to answer for the simple reason that in the course of history, different layers of meanings have been and are attached to different worlds and words. Indeed, the word witch has been loaded with so many negative meanings for so long, it's often impossible for people to react in it in any other way other than badly. For many, the words evil and witch go together like ham and eggs. Let us begin by looking at some of the alternative meanings of witchcraft. One is that it is simple sorcery. In other words, the use of magic in casting spells, healings, telling the future, and influencing the weather. These spells may be used for good purposes or bad, depending on the person who casts them. This kind of sorcery, also known as folk magic or witchcraft, has existed in just about all known societies at all times. Though I'm concerned with the traditions that have helped shape witchcraft in Western culture, in English-speaking societies, such people have been known as cunning folk or wise women or wise men. They have existed since the immemorial, and such people still exist today. For them, witchcraft is simply a craft. It's used of magic and using magic for specific ends. Magic can be defined as using one's will to change consciousness and reality. Simple sorcery has no connections with religion. Another definition of witchcraft is the one that developed in the late Middle Ages and Renaissance, and which dominated Western culture for perhaps 250 years. Witchcraft as the worship of the devil. This definition rose out of Christian thinking and was part of the late medieval church's obsessions with heresy. The reasoning was quite simple. The world was divided between good and evil, God and the devil. Though God, of course, had the upper hand, the devil had helpers in the form of spirits called demons. So anyone who invoked spirits other than in the church context was naturally in league with demons and the devil. As people who performed magic, for example, witches, often invoked spirit, or spirits. This meant that witches were the devil's allies. As this idea developed much of the late medieval world and considered that witches entered a formal pact with the devil, had sex with him or his demons, and tried to oppose God's will. Therefore, they were the worst kind of heretics and had to be burned. This accounts for the large number of witch trials and executions in North America and particularly Europe from around 1450 to 1700s. A few of those burned may have been simple sorcerers, as in our first definition. Most had no connection with magic at all. None actually worshipped the devil. The idea of diabolical witches was an invention of this time, but one that has survived among many conservative Christians, thanks in part to misleading translations of the Bible. The third definition is that used by many modern witches is that witchcraft is a religion with a capital W. It is a mystery religion which believes in one ultimate deity, but puts special emphasis on the female aspect of that deity in the form of the goddess. And it reveres gods from the old pagan religions. At the same time, witchcraft is magic and uses magic, which witches believe is part of the supernatural world and the natural world around them. Something that is part of their spiritual development and identity as witches. Incidentally, modern witches reject the suggestion of satanic associations on the understandable grounds that Satan or the devil is a Christian concept, and witches worship neither the Christian God nor its devil. Yet to avoid the negative value still attached to witchcraft, many practitioners refer to it as Wicca and to themselves as Wiccans. Both words are revivals of the Old English term for witch. This, then, is the definition of witchcraft. Though the word is also used in historical context to mean what people said it meant at the same time, it should be pointed out that just as there is no evidence that witches worshipped the devil in the late Middle Ages, there is equally no evidence that witches worshipped the old pagan gods then either. The modern religion of Wicca has been seen as a fusion of folk magic or sorcery with pagan worship and borrowings from ceremonial magic dating back to Egypt and ancient Judea. As we move along, we will take a closer look at how this witchcraft revival occurred and how witches have been able to emerge slowly from the shadows where they have been forced to hide. Witchcraft now appears to have a bright future. To understand how it has got there, we first need to consider its secret and often dark history. Witchcraft has suffered from a very bad reputation over the centuries, including descriptions of witch festivals. One of the attractions of witchcraft for young people today, especially females, is that it has a tradition of powerful images of women and their role in the craft. Witchcraft is growing in popularity, especially among young women. Witches employ traditional tools such as chalices and cauldrons, which have symbolic as well as practical uses. The use of magic has not always been seen as evil in sorcery. Isis was a powerful Egyptian goddess who gained her divine powers through using magic. To hear and learn more about the secret history of witchcraft, please subscribe to my channel. I look forward to sharing more information. Many blessings to you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.